Alright, so in this video we're just going to go over where we kind of picked up where we left off in the last video, which is going to be writing scripts but for Meterpreter. So the reason that we don't make a pre-Meterpreter script like when we did this quick load, because there's different things that Meterpreter is capable of, and some of the stuff that we do, it's not very clean to do it that way. So we want to try and keep them separate. So Meterpreter has its own stuff that it can run, and you obviously can't run these outside of Meterpreter. Like if we tried to, say, load a module like Mimikatz or run VNC or something like that, well, if we're not in Meterpreter, then it's not going to work. So it doesn't make sense to include that in scripts that aren't going to be using Meterpreter. So hope that kind of makes sense. So we leave those other scripts separate, and now we make scripts for Meterpreter. And it's going to be pretty much the same exact process, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. What I'm going to do is nano, and I'm going to go ahead and do a Meterpreter, and I'm going to do a, let's think what we want to do. An easy thing to do is obviously to get the system, so we can try to get privileges first, and then maybe immediately we want to try and grab the credentials and then set up a persistence mode so that we maintain kind of a point of access, every 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever. So, that's not bad. I mean, really, you just use your imagination. Whatever you need to do for yourself, that's what you would want to make it for. So I'll just do Meterpreter, and I'll say creds, and I would say, I guess, persistence. .sc. I don't think we need, or not sc, but rc. There we go. So now that we're in there, I'm going to do a get system. The next thing we would do is load Mimikatz, and I can do a Kerberos. I can then do a hash dump, and then after that I can do, let's think here, I don't know, what else do we want to do with it? I guess run the persistence. So I'll do we can also call other modules. So inside here I'll just do run persistence, and we'll do the same format that we've been using. Set that up here. And that would be it. So let's give that a shot and see if that works. I'm going to do a Control X. I'm going to hit Y and enter. So let's come back to Meterpreter. And obviously, if I do a load and I do some tabs, nothing's in there. It's not loaded anything. If I try to search for it or anything, it's not going to find it. We can try and exit Metasploit and then go back into it and reload it. There's also a way that we can tell it to try and reload all of the modules, but we should be able to run it from the location. So the same thing, we're going to do a resource and then whatever the name of the script is. Last time we used a -r. This time Metasploit says it doesn't really need it, but just it's there if you need to use it. But this time we'll try to not use the -r, and root and .msf4, and where was it, in modules, and then let's do a tab to see what we have available. And there's our Meterpreter, so I'm going to type in Meterpreter. There is our Meterpreter script. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and we'll see what happens. We can see it's getting system, it did Kerberos, did a hash dump, now it's running persistence. And it's done. So that's pretty sweet. Let's take a look up here. So it ran get system, it got system via technique 1, which we were probably already, system privs, but hey, we just throw it in there. The Mimikatz extension was already loaded. It was already loaded in Metasploit. If it wasn't loaded, then it would have. This is just telling us that it's already been loaded. So then it ran the Kerberos command, retrieved the Kerberos credentials. We can see that we retrieved the password, which is xpvm1 in plain text, which is super sweet. But just in case we couldn't obtain that, we want to dump the hashes. Maybe want to crack those later or something. And then just in case we want to come back to the system, let's go ahead and set up that persistence backdoor, and it did that. And now we're catching sessions because we're on port 4444, and that's what we put by default. So anyways, that's how we would do it in Meterpreter. Pretty much the same exact stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just hit enter. Let's take a look. Sessions-L. We got a background first. Sessions-L. And we can see that we've caught, it's still on port 444. So if I would have changed it to like port 8888, then we wouldn't, it would show up 8888, 4444, whatever it is. But all of this is the same info. It's both xpvm1. Let's take a look at something real quick. I'm just curious about something. Let's do a sessions. We're going to do an interact with 2. And let's go ahead and do a get UID. And so, okay, it's NT authority system. I was just checking to see if it was going to be the regular user. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out of Metasploit. We have to do the -Y because we currently have sessions that are open. And let's go back to /root.msf4 ls. Now from here, since we're loading and we're specifying the file name, because like we're doing resource and then root, MSF4 and so forth, you can load it pretty much wherever you want to. So if you wanted to create just a Meterpreter folder and put all your Meterpreter scripts in there, you could do that. And then if you just wanted to do like just a regular scripts folder, you can do that too. Just use that mkdir command, mkdir, and then you can just do interpreter, something like that, and that will create those directories for you. So I don't know, just thinking of little tips that would help you guys out. If you need any help, or if something didn't work, just send me a message, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video.